In this session, we will look at the issue of strategic positioning. Our objective will be to understand approaches to strategy formulation, how we can make use of techniques like SWOT analysis and gap analysis, competitor analysis and choice of strategy, and using the value chain in strategy. Now, let's begin by asking this old question, which we took up in one of the earlier sessions. What is strategy? As we saw then, strategy is a question of looking at the external environment, looking at the internal environment, and then keeping these inputs in mind, framing a plan of action, right? Now, this is done by the management and employees of the company put together. Now, you will recall my mentioning that it is not merely the management alone that frames strategy, but it is management and employees together. This is more important, more particularly important in an environment such as the one we are in today, where there is rapid change. Let's now look at the technique of SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis helps us to create strategies. SWOT analysis helps us to create plans of action, in other words. Now, external environment gives us opportunities and threats, because after all, you will recall, we looked at the external environment using two models, Pestel and Porter 5 forces. Both these models gave us several leads which are opportunities and threats relevant to the external environment. The internal analysis we had done in one of the earlier sessions gave us an insight into the strengths and weaknesses of the company. Using these two bits of data, SWOT analysis is a technique which helps us frame strategic options. How do we do that? Right? Okay. We start with the external environment inputs. There are several inputs that have come in by looking at the environment. Pestel, there were 6 factors in Pestel, there are 5 forces model. Therefore, there are several opportunities and threats which come up. Now, what we need to do is we need to look at these opportunities, look at these threats, we need to analyze them, we need to sort them out into those that are important to the company and those that can be set aside. For instance, if you had an opportunity like a new market segment opening up, today, for instance, the rural market is opening up in India in a very big way because rural incomes are going up in a very big way. So that is an opportunity. Let's call that Op 1. So let's put that statement down, right? Then, what about the importance of that statement? How important is that opportunity to the company? Now, if the company is dealing in a product which has a good market in the rural areas, then undoubtedly this is an important opportunity. Then we rank the importance as high. Otherwise, we rank the importance as medium, or sometimes the importance could even be low. Let's look at another opportunity. We have a situation where in African countries, for instance, telecom is picking up in a very big way. Therefore, for telecom majors in India, the African market is a big opportunity, right? So let's put that down and let's look at the importance. Now, importance depends upon how large this African market is. If the African market is very large compared to the Indian market, then the importance would be high. Otherwise, the importance would be medium or low. In the same way, we analyze threats to the company, threats which we have understood by looking at various models which study the external environment. A threat could be, for instance, the entry of a competitor from overseas, right? For instance, the Tatas have supermarket chain in India. Now, certainly the entry of Walmart into the Indian market is a threat to the Tata chain, right? As it is a threat to the Reliance chain or the Futures chain. It is a threat to all those Indian chains. Now, so we put the statement down. Then we look at what is the importance of this threat. How significantly will this threat impact the company? In the same way, we look at another threat. Possibly there is a change in technology which requires the company to remodel its products. This is a threat, right? Now, we put the statement down, we put the threat down, we look at, we analyze, we assess its importance to the company. So, this process is called EFAS, External Factor Analysis Statement. The external factor analysis statement allows us to summarize what we have learnt about the external environment. Let's now look at the internal environment and do a similar thing for the internal environment. Now, internal environment is inside the company. We are looking at strengths and weaknesses of the company. We have used a couple of models to help us understand this. Using the inputs from those models, we might find that a particular company has a very good market share in urban markets. So that's definitely a strength. And what is the importance of that to the company? It depends upon whether those urban markets are growing rapidly today or have they saturated. If they are growing rapidly, then the importance is high. If they have saturated, then the importance of this strength is low. It is a strength, but its importance is low. Now, what about strength 2? Possibly, we might find that that company's products are of a very high quality. So, this recognition, this perception of high quality is a strength. What is the importance of this strength? Now, if consumer sentiment towards quality is improving, if consumer sentiment towards the importance of quality is increasing, then this strength is a very important strength. If, on the other hand, consumers are more interested in price and less interested in quality when it comes to that particular product, then this strength, though it is a strength, has a medium importance or perhaps even sometimes a low importance. In the same way, we look at weaknesses with relation to the company. Now, what does this chart, what does this statement, which is called the internal factor analysis statement, what does this statement do? It allows us to summarize what we have learnt about the internal environment of the company.